Hey Longtime Toolies, Kyle here. Got a great video today on how to sharpen a plane iron. One of these guys, sometimes called a plane blade. It's called an iron though. And just off a plane, bought off eBay, nothing fancy, no $400 hand plane. Just stuff like that back there. And then how to sharpen it using some sandpaper, some Amazon sharpening stones, and this fancy honing guide, also off Amazon, to get some nice shavings like this, real thin. Look at that. Beautiful. So we're going to go over that today. So let's get started. All right, so here you can see I got some sandpaper. This is 220 grit, and held on to my little MDF worktop with some painter's tape because this is temporary. I don't leave this here all the time. And then I have my iron in the honing guide. It's going to be honed to a 30-degree bevel. Lots of people say lots of different things. I just go with 30 because it's pretty standard. Paul Sellers, big woodworking guy, he goes with 30. So each honing guide will be different. Mine has little, like a guide on it, but the instructions are real specific. So from here to the end is 1.5 inches. That makes it 30 degrees. And then all we're gonna do, you can kind of see like that black part there, how it's dark. We're gonna turn it into, so it's all uniform and flat across the blade. And this honing guide, you can do it by hand. For 15 bucks, this makes it real easy. So all you gotta do, you can do it towards you, away from you, it really doesn't matter. You just set it up like that, hold it down. Keep going back and forth. Kind of wobbling the camera there, no big deal. Then you can kind of start to see it. Take away a little bit of the metal. All right, so we've been at it for a few minutes. I don't know, 6, 7, 10, who the fuck knows. And got it looking pretty good. You can see there's still just a little bit that hasn't been there, but we're not gonna let perfect be the enemy of good here. That's good enough. One thing I wanna show you, you have to do flat also. So we're just gonna go flat, make sure it stays flat, and just run it up and down a little bit. That'll take that little bevel that's created on the outside of it, or on the inside, depending on where you're looking, and get rid of it. So a few more passes here and we'll move on to the stones. All right, so got that done with the 220 grit sandpaper. Now a lot of people will use a bench grinder and get this done in like 5 seconds. I don't have a bench grinder, so I tape 220 grit sandpaper to my workbench. It works just as well, just not as fast. And so we're gonna take this now from 220 to about 30,000 grit polished. So we're gonna start with the 400. One thing I like to do when I'm doing this is have a bunch of paper towels around because these are wet stones and you do have to keep them wet. So we're gonna just put it in like this. It's gonna be right in front of me. You take the honing guide just like you did before and you just run it along. Doesn't have to be hard. Real important thing is just keep it nice and level and uniform. Keep even pressure across the iron surface. You'll see it's starting to pull up a little bit. That's not a big deal, as long as it stays wet. And already, here's the other thing I like to have paper towels for. You get a little bit of that stone comes off. So here, you can start to see getting pretty shiny. Each one, you just kind of got to feel for. Don't forget too, you gotta do the flat, the other end. So I'm gonna keep going with 400, and then I'm gonna flip the stone, go to 1,000. I'll check in with you guys in just a minute. Yeah, there it is. Starting to get cleaned up, nice. I mean, it's pretty sharp. That's pretty good. A little fingernail test. See, it scraped a little bit off. But yeah, so next I'm gonna go to 3,000 and 8,000. Just finished up with the 8,000 grit. You can see it's really sharp. It almost looks like the color is a little dull, but don't worry, we're about to get to that. So the last step is polish that blade up nice on a leather strop. So I know you all see like barbers and they take their razors on a little piece of leather. That's a leather strop. I made this out of just some scrap MDF because it's level, and put some wood glue on the back of the scrap piece of leather, clamped it between 2 boards so it would be nice and flat, and here we go. So I got this, and then got some mineral oil, soaked the leather in it, just a few drops, let it soak in so it stays supple. And then this is polishing compound. This is actually 60,000 grit. I thought it was 30. It doesn't really matter. So before you just run it, it's like a giant crayon. Just run it on the leather. Doesn't take a whole lot. Really can't do too much, I guess. So that covers it. Put it off to the side. And then this is the easy step. You'll just take this, kind of draw it back. You don't have to go hard. You don't have to go too soft. This is just to polish it up. You can run it back and forth. Don't put too much pressure down on it. It's really not about that. It's just about getting it polished, getting any little burrs or abrasions or imperfections that you can out of it from the 8,000 grit. Just do that. Don't forget, you gotta do that side too. There's always gonna be a little edge on it. Okay, clean it off a little bit. Start to see it's getting pretty shiny, almost like a mirror. So we're just gonna keep doing this for a few passes until I get it nice and pretty. So we'll be back in just a minute. So I took the iron out of the honing guide. You can see now, pretty shiny, really sharp, all the way up to 60,000 grit. Here's a nice little test. Takes a nice little shaving off. I'm gonna put it in the plane, get the plane set up, and then do a couple test passes on a piece of wood. All right, got it set up, kind of got it tuned up a little bit. Still got to make some minor adjustments probably when I start going after it. Got it in a Sargent 414. Don't know if you can see that. Type 2, pretty old, like late 1800s. These are pretty good shape, and this one, real good shape. Nice knob, nice tote in the back. So we're gonna put it up against some yellow pine. This is just a piece of scrap I had laying around. Try to show you what it looks like. A little rough patch right there. Stickers were there. This is just from Lowe's, no free ads. Not a bad piece of wood to try it out on. Kind of got to make sure that I'm going the right direction. I think I got it. So let's see what we got. That's enough for now. You can see, kind of show it. It's not smooth finish yet, but I mean that's gone. Removed all that. It's a pretty good finish. All right, Toolies, that's all we got for today. Just want to sharpen this plain iron. Let us know what kind of content you like to see, what kind of videos, how-tos, whatever it is. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. We got a Pinterest, and it's pretty great. And YouTube, let us know what you want. Until next time.